after the game, I was at a grocery store buying some stuff for dinner, and the old guy in front of me said to the cashier, "Boy, the Bills screwed the pooch." And I'm not arguing with this assessment, but I do want to know where that phrase came from. Like I've heard it 100 times. Screwed the pooch. Now I think I know what it means, but why? What is the origin of that? Like gift horse in the mouth, like means like if someone gives you a horse, you don't look at its mouth to see if it's healthy because they just gave it to you. That's rude. So I know what gift horse in the mouth means, but screwed the pooch. Like was the origin of that someone actually screwed a pooch? Is that what that is?
I actually know the answer.
You
So
do?
I'm glad you asked. Yeah.
Okay.
So Kyle's grandfather won the lottery. He had his lottery ticket, and he's walking into the store ready to claim his prize, and he's like, the Turner family is gonna be set for generations.
Turning a new leaf.
And then out of nowhere, the hottest little dog runs by.
Oh, it's a hot little number.
And he goes, I gotta fuck that dog.
No.
And then he fucks the dog, loses the lottery ticket. People go, what happened? He goes, I was screwing the pooch. And that's how we get
now everyone's like, oh, you really screwed the pooch. Okay, so that I get it now.
Sorry, you know how that. you know that story's a lie? We would never fuck a small dog. Big dogs only.
I guess I said cute little. I did say cute little. That's correct. Yeah, good point.
Little. Now I'm glad the Bills lost to Jacksonville since it's the In the Hunt cast, whatever. We're done. Do trivia.
I was thinking instead of talking in depth about the game, we can talk in depth about Palestine and Israel. First question, what's going on over there?
We don't know. We barely know what's going on in the Bills game.
That's right. I'm not comfortable with any of this. No, I'm not comfortable talking about the Bills either. So let's go back to the dog sack. Yeah. What the? Okay, the season over? Do we start there?
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to be a reactionary Bills fan. We get, we were gloating. I even ended the podcast last week was saying I finally feel good about this team. So I don't want to come all the way back around to the other side. But the thing that made me very sad, like the season was over, was the injuries.
Yeah. I'm way more upset about the injuries than I am about them. Just Jacksonville is just a team that's going to beat them. They had a chance to, even though it's just the first half offense sucked. The defense didn't have anyone. AJ Epineza couldn't breathe, even though he was playing amazing, and they almost won that game. So I'm not really upset about Jacksonville. I just wonder how
even in my brain, I was like, London's always weird. Jacksonville is one of those teams like the Jets that's weirdly throughout the years has kind of had our number. Like this could be a loss. I'm fine with it, but Milano probably out for the season. Daquan Jones, if not the season, a long time. Teron Johnson and Deion Dawkins, they came back in, but they got banged up. Obviously Rousseau and Benford were already out. And it's just like, and now, of course, Trey White out for the season. It's just like, man, that's tough.
Yeah, I'd much rather subscribe to the injuries than the jet lag theory.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy the jet lag. I've traveled overseas. You guys know this. I'm not allowed in half of the Asian countries anymore. Governments banned me. Okay. Something about being too hot, too dangerous. You guys know that better than
anyone. They were just like, this guy's going to fuck all our dogs. It's in his family. He really screwed the pooch. So he can't come into our country.
Is that Kyle Screw the Pooch Turner? Is that the lineage?
Their family emblem's like, oops.
The jet lag thing's not real. Yeah. It's not real. First off,
thank you, by the way.
I get up every day at 5:30 a.m. That's about when they had to get up today. Deal with it. You would have been fine. And also, you're telling me that everyone on offense got jet lagged, but the entire defense just was like, no, we're good. We'll hold them to 11 points
not
for
only
2.5 quarters.
But the offense got jet lagged, but then shook it off midway through the third quarter.
Yeah. Well, they had their cup of coffee or whatever, and then they were like, "Oh, now we're not tired anymore, like babies."
Not only that, then Jacksonville got jet lag last week when they won 23-7. Like, was their defense jet lag next week, getting there the same day that the Bills did on that? Like, it's just, I could not go on Twitter when I saw a couple of those. Oh, why did they get there on Friday? I would have liked them to got there. It's just so fucking stupid.
And it's like, I would have, I think, planned to get them there earlier. I think that makes more sense, but I don't think that is anyway an excuse for losing the game. You got there 3 days, 2.5 days before the game.
You know where else you get jet lagged? When you come back home. Yeah. So you're fucked either way. If you get adjusted to their time, it's going to take you, when you come home, it's going to take you a few days to get adjusted there.
I never thought about that. That's really smart.
It is really smart, but also against that, we do play the Giants next week. So if you're going to be jet lagged anyway, you'd almost rather it be that way.
And it isn't like the Bills get to the airport 2.5 hours early, stand around. They have to like stand an outlet because their phone is low on power and there's nowhere to sit at that gate. And then they're running back from Anchor to get to their seat. Like,
they carry one bag. It's their backpack.
their flight's like delayed in Minnesota, so they have to sit there for 6 hours, and then they don't get to the hotel 3 a.m. That's not happening.
They have no space in between seats. They're all cramped like this.
Vaughn Miller's like he's spreading.
Dude, I didn't even. That's funny. You said you didn't think about the jet lag coming back. I didn't even consider that like the most tiring part of travel. They don't have to deal with.
No,
they walk essentially from their houses onto a plane, and then they put their sleep masks on.
They headphones on, and they're like, oh.
They get to the hotel, and they're like, Josh Allen, your room isn't ready yet. I'm sorry.
There's a maid with a cart trying to clean his room.
Come back in a couple hours. Take a walk. We'll hold your luggage.
Actually, McDermott, we actually don't have a reservation under that name. Could it be something else?
Poor Gabe Davis. He got the room that was right next to the pool, and there's these kids swimming all night, even though lifeguard was on duty, and he was up all night because these kids were splashing and playing Marco Polo. Gabe Davis, I couldn't sleep. They're fucking playing Marco Polo all night.
While we're in this, we should talk about other things that I think we should bring
aren't
up.
The game.
Yes, things that we should bring up that are not excuses, but that our people are talking about. Bad officiated game, but I think not an excuse. I think on both sides. I mean, they pretty much gave us a touchdown with like 2 to 3 consecutive 15-yard penalties on that drive near the end there. The call on Poyer was terrible. Like
the call on the other Josh Allen was terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a tackle. It's like, you can't tackle him. Haven't you seen his commercials?
My boner of the game was any play that didn't have a flag thrown, because it was
didn't
just
have one.
It was a mess of a game, and like you'd think the NFL, supposedly being smart, would go the other way. Like, we're gonna hire an officiating crew that doesn't throw flags because we want it to be like a high octane game, but instead it was us. It was a bad slog of a shit game.
No, I didn't enjoy the game. It was just such a friggin' hard. Like, that first half was brutal, and then when Jacksonville did have their drives, they took forever. There's that whole 2-to-1 time of possession thing that sucks, because every little tiny detail, like every single third down you don't get, it's like you feel like you're the Bills in reality not on game clock, but they're not getting the ball back for another half an hour. It was just, it's just that sport. It reminds you of like how bad the drought was, and it brings you back to how sad it was, because when your team doesn't play good, the NFL is unwatchable. It's absolutely the worst like entertainment thing there is, because it's just nothing. There's just a team scoring and then 15 minutes of commercials, and then you punt it away and 15 more minutes.
Well,
it's
now
brutal.
Last week I said famously in my mind that Dorsey should almost get a pass for a long time because of how well he called the Dolphins game. And then immediately to challenge that, we see this game, which was just the complete opposite of that game in every aspect. I mean, the offense was a no-show, as everyone knows. And this is a thing I mentioned last year that like worries me is the offense is completely healthy. All these injuries are on the defense, and at the end of the day, still did their job. The offense is completely healthy, and they're the ones that look like they had all the injuries. It was just like at a certain point, what is happening? And to go back to my Jets rant from earlier in the season, like I just still go back to, do I trust Alan Dorsey McDermott to not lay an egg once every 4 games? Like Jacksonville's pretty good. I know London game's weird, but like the offense is healthy, and it's just every once in a while, I mean, it's just an egg. And let's be honest, there's been 5 games and they looked like a high octane offense for 2.5 games and looked like they couldn't stop shooting their own dick for the other 2.5 games. So like just a little consistency would be nice. Give me a 6 out of 10 offense here and there.
That's when I bring out the other team's trying to play 2 thing. Like the talk about Miami last week wasn't that Miami sucked. It was just, well, the Bills did exactly what they needed to do.
Right.
They figured out how to beat Miami. Jacksonville figured out, like, I don't know the details of it. I didn't watch the All-22. I know Kyle will fill us in on that, but they just figured out how to beat Miami.
But I think it's my problem with the Alan Dorsey offense is like, does it have to be a 1 out of 10? Can they figure you out and you still put a 4 out of 10? Like if the offense was below average, I think we would have won this game.
They did like score 3 touchdowns, and Josh Allen threw for like 359 yards. That's a lot.
That's stat sheet.
But that they were all in the game. They were in the game.
I know, but that
I have a tweet of the game. It's Ken Dorsey related, so I'll bring it up now. This tweet of the game, before I get into the shit I want to say about it, I love this tweet. This is actually kind of cheating because this was post game, but I thought it was a very good tweet. It's by Jordan Merritt. It's at JMERR15. He says, Ken Dorsey is Matt Canada with a Josh Allen get out of jail free card. And I think I think it's spot on. I think if Matt Canada is in Buffalo and Ken Dorsey is in Pittsburgh, I think both narratives for the franchises are the exact same. I think Matt Canada is kind of like have on and off games, probably mostly on because Josh Allen, and I think Ken Dorsey and Kenny Pickett, people are calling for their heads.
I'll let you get to your rant, but it's going to be interesting going forward because I think we'll have our answer by the end of the season. I don't think we have enough data yet. He's not killing it, but I don't think he's awful yet either. But by the end of the season, we'll know for sure.
Yeah. The thing that bothered me today, in particular, first off, the shotgun draw handoff play is like his favorite play. It is so predictable. Everyone knows it's running back lined up right next to Allen, and it's just kind of off to the side a little bit. It's just so frustrating because if a run play gets 4 yards, you consider it good, like a decent run play. And it's not when it's 2nd and 10. And now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 6. That's still like a decent 3rd down play. Like I'm not a fan, but today's the thing that I hated most about today's game plan was Dalton Kincaid, your 1st round pick, and Dawson Knox, what's he making? $12 million a year, combined for 5 catches for 36 yards. This is supposed to be your offense. The first year you spend a 1st round pick on a tight end, and then you pay Dawson Knox the exact same offseason. You pay him where he's making 10 to 12 million a year, whatever it is. And these guys aren't making huge plays.
Not to mention, Kyle, on that point, they have the 2 tight end offense so they can run better too. Like the idea was have both these guys in the field because now you have bigger guys so you can run and throw to them. So not only did they combine for the 5 catches, James Cook had -4 yards rushing. Like they did the running game. It didn't help the running game, and it didn't help the passing game to have those 2 in there. So,
and I want to bring this up because we're nothing if not accurate on this podcast. But Knox makes 6.5 this year, but next year 14.4.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could not.
this this is another game. I know Hardy had 2 big catches this game, 2 only, but like you, you throw the gadget plays to him 100 times in the Miami game. In this game, you throw one gadget play on a goal line to Khalil Shakir, who catches it and runs just at the guy.
That was the
Like,
slowest catch.
not even a
Yeah.
little, like, not even a little shoulder, like, oop, could be going this way. He was just like, I'm just gonna run at him, see what happens. Maybe he'll move. And
One of the-
it's
When you're walking down the sidewalk and you see, he'll move. That's
Yeah.
fine.
I have the right of way. Oh, maybe that was it. It was an England thing. He was on the wrong side of the field. He thought that guy would run. And since the Jaguars were there all week, they know what side of the field you're supposed to
Yeah.
run on, so they were able to tackle him.
That's true.
I wanted to say this really quick about the run again. That's even more frustrating. But it doesn't work, and that sucks. What makes it more frustrating is that delayed handoff thing they do. I know when it works, it works. It just looks easy to stop. It looks like Josh Allen takes the
Yeah.
snap and says, "Hey, Jaguars, see this guy right next to me? Yeah, see him?
Yeah.
I'm going to walk over to him, hand him the ball, and I know you'll all be in front of him, but he's going to go right through." And it looks so announced. Like if I'm at home and I see it developing, I shouldn't be able to do that. Like just have him like running at you when you give it to him instead of like having Josh Allen step slowly over to him and cradle the ball into
He's
his...
called it. So I thought I was wrong. I go, maybe I'm wrong, and it just looks like a different play. The broadcast today said something along the lines they ran that play for no gain or whatever, and they said something about something along the lines of that seems to be one of Ken Dorsey's favorite plays. Like they said it on the broadcast. And I was I knew I'm not fucking wrong here.
And to Kyle's point, we need to have a little less often have running plays where it's like we could lose -6 yards. You know, like you said, like most running plays, it's like, oh, that was blown up. It's 2nd and 8. You know, and you're like, all right, I could live with that. And like, yeah, you're gonna have losses and running plays every once in a while, but like there were like 3 or 4 today that were like drive killers.
Yeah. And again, none of this, I feel like this has nothing to do with the defense. I thought the defense played lights out. If that offense was even getting field goals and at halftime it's 10-11 or 12-10.
Fuck field goals. If that offense was getting first downs, I think the defense would have been a little like it might have been better.
Dude, that when Jaguars scored to make it 18, I mean the defense was literally getting pushed over, and I didn't feel anything come on guys. I was like, yeah, they deserve to. You should let them score to say fuck the offense.
Yeah.
One thing to follow up your Dalton Kincaid thing, which is a Bills thing. We've talked about this before, but it's like you trade up for Dalton Kincaid. And then everyone's talking about he's going to be your new Cole Beasley. He's going to be your 3rd down guy in the flat that you hit. And I'd be interested to see if he's ever gotten a catch on 3rd down in 5 games.
Well,
like he's probably had 1
catches.
or 2, but he's used a lot in 1st down, 2nd down, and like you get him for presumably this reason, and you don't use him for that reason. And then if you want to go a step further, they trade up for Kaiir Elam, who I'm sure we'll talk about. And from day one seems like not a great fit for the scheme, you know, and didn't have a great day. And it's just like, it's just confounding at a certain point, like not using the people how they were advertised to be used.
What else?
Yeah.
Want to say a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Diggs is friggin' amazing. 2 times Allen could have just thrown it a little deeper. Those would have been touchdowns. Like when he got the 48-yard catch where he had to fall, he had to come back to it, and they got nothing off of that drive. Like that's the game. Like to me, that's 5 yards a little deeper, touchdown. They still did complete the pass. That's great, but like that's the game. He's just friggin' amazing. Gabe Davis had like a good game statistically, but the one drop he had on third, like 1st down, that was right at the sticks that stalled that drive. You wonder if they're just like, oh, like I don't feel like playing offense anymore. That dude just drops easy passes.
I wrote that down. It's like a once every other game Gabe Davis dropsies, and there's part of me that's like, he's good, he puts up stats, but like you kind of want a little bit more from your second receiver.
I want to after they throw that pass and it's right to him, right at the sticks. When he drops it, the camera should zoom on him and he should go, "That's the Gabe Davis guarantee." I'm gonna drop one easy pass and piss you off. Bing, like a little sparkle on his eye.
And that's a Gabe Davis dropsy.
That's the Gabe Davis guarantee. I'm gonna drop a pass. So I'm not. I know I texted you both a couple of times during the game and said no pod. And I'm formally quitting the pod, of course. We're no longer doing this podcast because I don't want to talk about the Bills. I will say this. It's all about the same thing. I always bring it up. It's a long season. Just be good at the right time. The Milano thing is just fucking devastating. The DaQuan Jones thing is just devastating. So, but as of this recording, they're not yet out. So maybe it's like an 8-week injury. Maybe it's a 10-week injury. Maybe you just make the playoffs. So I'm not that upset yet. And even if they are out the season, you still have Josh Allen. So I'm not dead yet in terms of what this year is. It's really like there's a lot of positive things. Like you beat Miami and you showed you can beat Miami. And can you beat them without Milano and DaQuan Jones? I don't know. Like you're adding Von Miller and, maybe Dorian Williams is a really good rookie. We'll find out. But like if he has some time to grow, the AFC is really weird this year. And
Ravens
you just have to make the playoffs.
Steelers.
So what's that?
Ravens lost today to the Steelers.
I know. So that's big. Travis Kelce just had a really nasty foot injury. We'll find out what happens with him in that Chiefs game. So no, nothing official, but he is on the sidelines being checked by trainers as of this recording. That's probably nothing because Chiefs aren't allowed to get injured. But just in terms of like making the playoffs, let's just say you lose the division to the Dolphins because the injuries are just too much to overcome. Someone's going to win the AFC North, and then who else is going to make the playoffs of that division? The AFC South, there's no way that there's more than one team that comes out of the division like to get a wild card. And then after the AFC West, you got the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos who are all just kind of dookie at that point. So obviously some of those teams are going to make the playoffs, but the Bills just have to be one of them and get hot at the right time. Maybe some of the injuries come back. So I'm not completely devastated yet on the year. It's just such a shitty loss.
Yeah. To Greg's point, again, if you want to remember how long the NFL season is and how crazy it is, 3 weeks ago, everyone was shitting on the Steelers. They're now in first place in the AFC North.
That's just. I watched a lot of that game,
and they still stink.
And they're bad.
Fucking terrible. Yeah,
and they're bad. And today they beat the Ravens, who everyone was like, "Oh, they're going to dominate the AFC North." Today they beat the Ravens. Now I know that's whatever. They're both AFC North teams, and every time an AFC North team's face each other, that game ends 10-13. And you're like, this is 1990s football. Neither of these teams are good. But again, the NFL season is long. For Bills fans, it's longer because heartache hurts.
If the Cowboys lose this, they're playing the 49ers. If they lose that game, the Bills will have the best point differential in the NFL still. So they're great. It's a crazy year.
All right, let's Greg, you want to talk about Revolver Records, our sponsor?
I love Revolver Records. They have 4 locations. Get there to get awesome records. Just go there and browse because it's cool to go to a record store and actually, like find new music, discover new music. I like record stores. They're very soothing and good for your mental health. After a Bills loss, go to the emo section.
There you go.
Have Phil McNamara help you out. Find a nice emo record.
You know who you'll see in the emo section? Emo Kyle.
Emo Kyle be in there with his Depeche Mode T-shirt.
No, not
some Taking Back Sunday.
There we go.
Hawthorne Heights.
That's right.
My Chemical Romance. I love it.
I know.
I'll be like, where's all the records about dogs? Do you have those? Like pictures of dogs on the album jacket? Do you have any of those?
I love picturing emo Kyle in high school with his little his little makeup on and his piercings
in the back of mom's minivan.
They're fake piercings. I take them out when I get mad. I unclip them. Ow!
If you have records to sell, you can sell at Revolver Records, but definitely buy records at Revolver Records. If you just want to do the online thing, perhaps you are in Sweden listening to the In the Hunt cast from a different section of the world other than Western New York, go to revolverecordsinc.com. And when you purchase something, use the promo code InTheHunt10 to get 10% off of your total online purchase at Revolver
let
Records.
us know. Email us if you do get a record.
Yeah, tweet or email
let
us
know
if you
what
use the
you
code.
get. Maybe we're into the same thing. I'm always looking for new music.
Yeah.
I've already listened to all of Oliver Anthony's songs.
You already listened to what?
He's the Woods guy that went like weirdly viral for
that guy. I want to say
you're like obsessed with that guy. I feel
that
like
guy is definitely a plant.
Oh yeah,
that guy is an informant, and if you think he's speaking to you, you have fallen for it, and you are being spied on for sure.
Tremendous.
And you know what? Now's a good time to mention. Bills lose, everyone's sad, but you want to get some good Bills talk? Sign up for the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
We got I don't know, maybe 70 episodes, probably more up of just talking about.
We just did a 2-parter on Mr. Douglas Flute.
That's right.
And it
was more shit talking than anything.
But
so about Doug Flutie. Yes.
Yeah, Greg's not a fan. Let me just say that.
No, so much so that I wouldn't do the second part of the Doug Flutie episode. So I was like, I refuse. I'm done with all this. Kyle, I was across the street from you Saturday night listening to music right across the street from me. And I thought about texting you and saying, hey, come on down Friday night. I was like, hey, come on.
Yeah, I'm
50 feet away from you. Yeah, but I just didn't because I don't text people. Yeah.
Oh, well.
So
that doesn't make me feel good. You didn't even have to tell me any of that, and I would have felt better about myself.
Shows you how close the pod is.
I could see you with Tracy being like, Kyle lives right there. And she's like, why don't you text him? And you're like, shut up. What are you with me, these bad ideas?
That's right.
I don't have any friends. I don't never have friends. I don't like them. They don't make me feel good.
They're too much.
I only have the dogs and my holes.
And I don't want Kyle around my dogs. I really screwed the pooch.
Man, good callback.
Yes, I got him.
Can we? I did want to say something about Kyer Elam. We didn't get a chance.
Oh yeah, let's talk about
specifically talk about him. Ew. So first off,
dude, again, I was watching that game and it was insane because there would be like 20-yard outs where it was like me covering these people and I'm like, God, he's that open again. It's like they were running the same curl and
crazy.
out.
Him on Calvin Ridley. That's unfair. That's like shouldn't happen. But dude, there was a couple times where, again, I almost feel bad for the kid. He didn't say, I want to go to Buffalo. This kid who was excelled in press man coverage got drafted by a team that plays 100% zone. That's not on him. And this game in particular, I watched him numerous times line up. He's in the face of the receiver. And I'm like, here we go. They actually have him playing press. And then he backs up 15 yards. And I'm like, oh, no, they just didn't learn how to use him. Okay, cool. And then guess what happens? Calvin Ridley goes out of the frame, and then he catches the ball for 25 yards. And you're like, oh, great. Fun time. And then at the end of the game, he got benched. So
and I say, I don't know if you guys saw, someone asked McDermott a question of like, hey, Kyer didn't play for a couple games. Understandable, it might be a little rusty. And he was just like, no, all our players should stay ready and like be ready to play at 100%. That's not an excuse. And this is like, man, they are like, he's in the doghouse on that team for sure.
They have to, I mean, it's now with Milano out, like you almost like thank God they drafted Dorian Williams now type thing where you're like, at least there's someone to step in and it's not fucking like Tyler Medikevich or whatever. You know what I mean? At least there's somebody where you could have some kind of hope that he comes in and plays very well because it's an unknown factor. But like Milano out, White out. I mean, now more than ever, if you truly believe this is a Super Bowl window, man, you got to go out there and trade your mid-round picks for some veterans.
Maybe Jamarcus Ingram be good enough to be the number 3 when Benford comes back. He is from UB, went to UB.
Doesn't make me feel better.
Rookie or he has 1 year experience. I can't remember, but I do know he's 26 years old. So he's like got
God.
redshirted a couple times or something, but he's an
my
old
Lord.
young rookie. So maybe
Before
all
we
that
get
wisdom.
to the trivia game, a thing that annoys me,
John just
especially
did not want me talking about Jamarcus Ingram right there. I still had like
I didn't know you had more to say.
I wasn't
about
in the
Jamarcus
middle of the
Ingram.
sentence. I was in the beginning of the sentence. She's like, oh yeah, that's great. Before we get to trivia,
I'm sorry. Do you have more to say about Jamarcus Ingram? There's
I
no
don't
way you
wanna
didn't know who
upset
he
you.
was until
I don't want to upset you. So
Go ahead.
I'm done. I didn't have much more to say.
there are people in this game. We were injured. There are people in this game I didn't know, and I write these like obscure trivia questions. I'm like, who the fuck is Vickers? I was like,
yes, I said that to my wife Tracy. I was like, oh, dude, is that guy's name Vickers? Who the fuck is Vickers? Did they pick up like some British guy eating fish and chips? Hey, Vickers. Hey, mate. That was Australian. Why don't you all play some football?
A thing that drives me crazy about the NFL on TV, and it seems like they get worse and worse at this. Show me what the penalty was. There was like 30 penalties in this game, and we saw like 3 of them. Just show me what it was. Who cares if you have to catch up when you come back from commercial? Show me. Oh, this guy. This was holding. This, you could see here he's got like. Even if it's late, even if it's 5 minutes later, show me what the penalty was. I want to see what it is.
This is a little you're like a masochist.
Yeah.
Don't pretend like you don't know the porn you look for.
I'm not into pain. I don't like pain. But you want to see, like, if they throw the flag and there ain't no argument, there's nothing we can do. We can't change it. I'm like, what? I don't even want to get mad at the ticky-tacky shit. I go, you called it, I don't care. Now, like, it every time they call a penalty and they do show the replay, and you're like, that's fucking holding, fuck your mother. I'm like, I don't want that reaction. So I just go, whatever, sure. Hopefully it was blatant. I don't want to see it.
It's bad TV, is what I say. But you know what's good entertainment is trivia. So let's get to it. Win yourself an Eli Anku jersey.
That guy played.
He was signed from our practice squad to the Falcons, which is a shame because we could have used him a defensive tackle.
Travis Kelce's not injured. He jogged back onto the field after the play just to catch up. You too.
Okay.
On the fact that the season is over.
Well, we're gonna do something a little fun here. I haven't done this type of game in a while. The game was on NFL Network, as you know, but it was broadcast locally on Fox. So we're gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna give you a name of a TV show, and you have to tell me whether it's a real show on the Fox network currently or a show I made up. Okay.
I like this one.
Okay, we're gonna start with Greg. Greg. And by the way, if it's a fake show, it's a show I completely made up. It's not like it's on another network or something like that.
Good.
Greg, your show, Farmer Wants a Wife.
Oh, there's not more than one. Okay, I thought it was like I had to
we're gonna
before. Oh God, seriously, on Fox, Farmer Wants a Wife. Not a real show.
That is in fact a real show.
Damn it,
Kyle.
Is it reality?
It's a reality show, yes.
Okay.
Kyle, your show, Alert Missing Persons Unit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that has to be a show.
That has to be, yeah.
That is a show. Good job, Kyle. We got 4 rounds, tiebreakers if necessary. Round 2, Greg. Special Forces World's Toughest Test.
It's so stupid and it has to be a real show. Yes.
That is a real show.
Yes.
Good
Good
job.
God, I was nervous there because you would not do 3 in a row, but you did.
Kyle, to you. Stars on Mars.
Come on. Okay. Well, they're not actually on Mars, right?
Well, it doesn't have to be a reality show.
Oh, yeah, it's a show.
That is a show.
Oh my God, I can't believe that's a show. I was mad you gave him an easy one because it was like
I played Murphy there. I thought I was like, he wants me to think he won't do 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And I just play. I said, he's pleased.
Will he do 5
Will
in
I
a row?
do 5
This
in a
is
row?
huge. There's
Greg,
no way he does 5 in a row.
Do I do 5 in a row? Therapist match game.
No. You will not do 5 in a row. Therapist match game is not a show.
That is not a show. Good job. 2-2.
Nice, Greg.
Kyle, do you keep your lead with the real or fake show? I Can See Your Voice.
Man. Yeah, that's a show.
That is a show.
What the fuck does that mean?
No idea.
I don't know, but this is our last round. Greg, you need to get this to put Kyle on the hot seat here. Your possible last show is Shark Talker.
Oh, man.
Fox doesn't do nature. I don't know. Would that be reality? No. No,
That's called Screwing the Shark.
Yeah, that's right. Kyle's like, what time would the show be on? Would you say? I'm a little sick of
Hypothetically
pooches.
speaking, if you wanted to screw a shark.
Hypothetically, do you see the sharks thing? Do you hypothetically, if that show exists, is there any man on shark? Is he more than just a shark talker? Is he a shark, doer? No, the Shark Talker is not a show.
Greg, good job. 3-3. Kyle, you get this, you win. If not, we go to overtime. Your show.
I forfeit. Oh wow, that came out of nowhere, Kyle. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna try and talk you out of it if you don't want to do it. That's fine.
Your show is snake oil.
It's a good man. If that's made up, I want to give Murphy a lot of credit for that one.
Man,
well, I want to write this show now if it doesn't exist.
If it's a reality show, it sounds like a show where you're selling bogus shit.
Yeah, I love it.
To get someone to fall for it. So it's got to be a reality show. No show's just going to be called Snake Oil.
Well, it could be like old-timey guy, like in the 1800s, and he's just going town to town. Like it's one
that's
of them.
Not a whole
that
show,
sounds like a cool
though.
show too, though. That would be above
show.
Fox. Yeah. Could be about massage.
Not a show. Not a show.
It is a show.
Yes.
We're going into overtime.
Oh,
Greg.
I won't Google snake oil just in case I find something else out. But
Greg, your show, Crime Scene Kitchen.
Crime Scene Kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
What would that be? Okay, so crime scene investigators trying to cook muffins in a certain amount of time, or this is the kitchen in which we figure out the crimes. It's Crime Scene Kitchen. We use sulfur to expose the DNA. No, Crime Scene Kitchen is not a show.
It is a real show.
What the
Kyle,
fuck is going on?
Greg, that's just bad cooks, I think. I have no idea what it is, but it's just bad cooks. You got too deep into crime.
Oh, it's probably criminals cooking.
You could.
It's in a prison. Just inmates cooking like scrambled eggs. They're like, "Get the fuck out of here."
That's Louis G's best chance of getting on television. He's making pasta fazool in a jumpsuit. Hey guys, I got some pasta fazool.
Kyle, you could win it all with The Cleaning Lady.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. That was
Kyle,
that was too smooth.
No way that wasn't a fucking show.
Kyle, you win.
Well, yeah, I win. Eli
Anku.
Apple. Okay.
Was Snake Oil a show? Is that the one I had to look up?
Contestants and their celebrity advisors are asked to separate the legitimate inventions from the made-up ones. It's hosted by David Spade.
What was the one I got wrong?
You got wrong.
Crime Scene Kitchen.
While you look up that, Bills home for Giants Sunday night. The Bills might be reeling a little bit going against their old OC. Kyle, do you have a key to the game?
Yeah, you got to make sure Daniel Jones' neck is okay. He went out today with a neck injury, so we got to go to UBMD. So yeah, this also could be.
It could be a Tyrod.
Could be a Tyrod game. In which case, we're fucked.
Yeah.
If Tyrod's coming in with full fuck this, he's. I think we're good. Daniel Jones. Today I heard an insane stat. I don't know if you were watching after the Bills game. If you were watching any of the
The Bills
Giants
lose, I'm
Miami
done with
game.
football. Get
Very
out
little,
of
very
here.
little.
So in the Giants Miami game, the Giants scored on a pick six. It was a 102-yard return. It happened in the first half. That was this season the first time the Giants had scored a first half touchdown, and it was a pick six in week 5.
So their offense still hasn't scored one.
Is it? No, but isn't that fucking insane?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a wild set. The first time.
This is the problem with being kind of good yet going through ups and downs is like you feel like if we don't win this comfortably, it's going to be a disaster, especially like within, not actually, but within the fan base. So I'm going to say right now, prediction, Bills win 24-21 and everyone loses their fucking shit.
Oh, because it's close. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on a plane. I don't even know how much of this game I'm gonna be able to see. Not that that'll affect our ability to do a podcast about it, but they're going to win this game, even with Von Miller back, Rousseau maybe healthy. They're gonna kill Daniel Jones and or Tyrod Taylor if he's in there. Never afraid of Tyrod. I love the man. I wish he would have won here, but just never really gets it done. I don't know. And I think the offense like definitely just comes back. I think it was just a fluky thing in England, and they'll get back on track. They need a get right game, that's for sure.
Well, unfortunately, I will not be there. It's a nighttime game. So I'm not going to this
What
one.
if they call you and they say, Kyle, we need you?
I will ask for money. If they need me there, they will pay me.
What if they hold up like a French poodle, like Kyle?
That was my grandfather, Greg. Not me.
You sound like the guy from the Declaration of Independence movie. What is that? What's the Nicolas Cage movie?
National Treasure.
Yes, didn't his grandfather tarnish the family's name by having sex with a dog? Isn't that the whole plot of that movie?
What?
Yeah. No. The dog was the national treasure.
that sweet ass of that dog was I'd salute that every morning.
God damn,
thank God no one's listening to this.
The map is on the backside of this dog. Oh my God.
And then they're like, who gives a shit about the treasure? Look at that ass.
They pick up the map and throw it away. Oh my God, the dog. I think Daniel Jones is terrible. And if Tyrod comes in, he might be a little better. And this is going to be the first week the Bills not having Matt Milano and Trey White together. And the Giants defensive coordinator is going to get to watch tape on Dorian Williams and shit. And if Rousseau comes back and he's not 100%, and if fucking Von Miller's still on a snap count and Daquan Jones, our starting defensive tackle, is out, it's not lining up to be good. And I think if Tyrod plays, the game is close. I think Giants squeak out a victory 51-10. So
sounds right. And as we end here, the Bills, the middle part of this season, the schedule is kind of soft. So it's like we really need to go on a run before we get to like Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs, Dolphins, Chargers. Like these next couple games here, you got Giants, Patriots, who look awful, by the way. Awful.
Then the Buccaneers.
Giants, Patriots, Bucks, Bengals, who are still whatever, Broncos, and then Jets. Like you could maybe really only afford one more loss, I feel like, in there with the gauntlet you got coming up after that. So they need to get right.
Wasn't it? I know we're signing off now, but wasn't it week 5 last year when the offense made that weird turn? Yeah, it was week 5 last year when they were playing Pittsburgh, when the second half of the Pittsburgh game, when like nothing was working and everyone was like, "Oh, that was weird."
Well,
bad second half.
It was Allen's elbow in the Jets game that he got hurt, or was it? It was the Jets.
No, it was the Jets game he got hurt, but that second half of the Pittsburgh game, when it started to like just not click and like the offense was just kind of sputtering after a monster first half. But hopefully this isn't going through the same little turn where it's just like week 5, week 6, and their defensive coordinators are like, "Oh, I get what they're doing, and they're not changing, so we'll just adjust to that, and it'll be tough sled."
Yeah.
Well, we hope you talked you through the the loss, and I
Yeah.
think we're doing okay.
Sabres start Thursday.
Yeah.
Sabres start Thursday. That's the big news. And sign up for the Patreon. Go get a record at Revolver Records. And we'll see episode will probably come out Monday night, I'm guessing at some point. So yeah.
Sweeto.
Sweeto.
The bills make me wanna cry. Kick my heels up and cry. Throw my hands up and die. Come on, the bills are giving it their best try. So curl up in a ball and cry. Say hey.